Greetings. I'm Pearl John and welcome to the other 167. We continue our series on tough questions and tough answers, and today we focus on the theme battling burnout, restoring strength in a weary world. The epidemic of exhaustion can be absolutely debilitating. Ever feel like you are running on empty? You wake up tired, go to bed exhausted, and in between life feels like a never-ending treadmill. You're not alone. Burnout is the silent pandemic of our generation. Employees are overworked, parents are overwhelmed, leaders are overstretched, and even ministry work feel drained. But here's the truth. God never designed us to live like this. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28, we have that classical verse of Jesus who says, "Come to me all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." The question is, how do we move from burnout to breakthrough? Let's explore three biblical keys to restoring strength in a weary world. 1. Pause before you plunge. The power of rest. In Exodus 20 and verse 8, we read, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." We live in a hustle culture where rest is seen as weakness, and people wear busyness as a badge of honor. But let's be honest, overwork leads to underperformance. God built rest into the creation. He worked for 6 days and rested on the seventh. We read that in Genesis 2 and 2. And Jesus, in the middle of a storm, took a nap. We read that in Mark chapter 4 and verse 38. And the Israelites were commanded to observe the Sabbath, not as a restriction, but as a rest. A high-powered CEO was on the verge of burnout. His doctor warned him, either you choose to rest or your body will choose it for you. He finally took a sabbatical, unplugged, and returned stronger, sharper, and more effective. Can I recommend an action step for you? Schedule intentional rest. Put it on your calendar before burnout puts you in a hospital. Rest isn't a reward for finishing your work. It's a requirement to do your work well. Secondly, presence over performance, finding that strength in God. In Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 31, we know, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength." Many are burned out not because they are doing too much, but because they are doing it without God. Moses refused to move without God's presence. Exodus chapter 33 and verse 15, we read that. Jesus retreated to pray before making key decisions. We read that in Luke chapter 6 and verse 12. Burnout doesn't come from hard work. It comes from working without God's strength. A young pastor was so busy serving God that he forgot to spend time with God. Eventually, he collapsed from exhaustion. His breakthrough came when he stopped striving and started soaking in God's presence. May I recommend that you start your day in prayer and worship before you start your work. Burnout happens when we serve God without seeking God. Let me repeat that for you. Burnout happens when we serve God without seeking God. Thirdly, priorities over pressure, learning to say no. In Luke chapter 10, verse 41 and 42, "Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is necessary." One of the biggest causes of burnout is saying yes to everything. Martha was busy doing many things. Mary was focused on one thing, which is Jesus. Busyness is not equal to fruitfulness. Jesus never did everything. He did the right things. A doctor was working 80-hour weeks until he realized something. Saying yes to everything meant saying no to his family, his health, and even his faith. And he started setting boundaries and found the joy again. May I recommend for you to write down your top 3 priorities. If it doesn't align, learn to say no without guilt. Remember, not every opportunity is an obligation. Say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Let me pull this to a close. Are you running on empty? If you are constantly tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, God is calling you to rest. Pause before you plunge. Choose presence over performance. Prioritize what truly matters. Because burnout isn't a badge of honor, it's a battle you are not meant to fight alone. God didn't design you to live drained, He designed you to live deeply refreshed. This is Pearl John signing off The Other 167. Thank you for watching The Other 167. We continue our series, Tough Questions and Tough Answers, next week. Until then, have a wonderful weekend and a working week ahead. God bless.